You're too old, Dad. Stay out of what doesn't concern you. My name is Mr. Robert Johnson. I'm 72 years old. And those words my son Jack said to me exactly 3 months ago still echo in my head, every day, every night. But most of all, on day 60. Listen closely to this story until the end, because what happened that day changed everything. And when I'm done, I want you to tell me, what would you have done in my place? Share this with anyone who needs to hear it. And tell me, what city are you listening from? I was born here in Dallas, Texas, in a neighborhood where if you didn't work hard, you didn't eat. My father was a construction worker. I was one too. For 50 years of my life, I built walls, I built houses, I built dreams for other families. And with those same hands, I built my own house. The house where I live now, alone, because 5 years ago I lost my Eleanor, my wife, my partner for life. And since then, this house feels too big, too empty, too quiet. But I didn't come here to talk about my loneliness. I came to tell you what happened with my son, with my grandsons, and with the hardest decision I've ever made in my life. It all started one Sunday. Like every Sunday, I was going over to Jack's house, my son. I carried food, freshly baked rolls, a casserole I had prepared the day before. I always take food, because I know that over there, things aren't going great. I knocked on the door once, twice, 3 times. No one opened it. I took out my key. Yes, I still have a key to that house. I went inside and what I saw. The living room was dark. The blinds were closed. It smelled weird, stuffy, neglected. There were dirty dishes on the coffee table, clothes thrown over the sofa, trash, mess everywhere. "Jack?" I called out. No one answered. I went to the kitchen. More dirty dishes. The sink was full. The stove was greasy. Everything was dirty. I went up the stairs. Slowly. My knee isn't what it used to be. I got to the room of Matt, my oldest grandson. He's 17. I knocked on the door. Nothing. I opened it. He was asleep. It was 11 in the morning, and he was asleep. The blinds were closed. The room smelled bad, really bad. There was clothing everywhere, plates with old food on the nightstand, soda bottles, trash. "Matt?" He didn't move. "Matt?" I repeated louder. He mumbled something. He turned over. He kept sleeping. I closed the door. I went to Ethan's room, my youngest grandson, 15 years old. I knocked. I opened it, empty. The bed was unmade, but empty. Where was he? It was 11 in the morning on a Sunday. Where was a 15-year-old boy? I went back downstairs. I went to Jack's room. I knocked. "Come in," a tired voice said. I entered. Jack was sitting on his bed, in pajamas, looking at his phone. He didn't even look at me when I came in. "Good morning, son," I said to him. "Hi, Dad," he said without looking up. I sat on the edge of the bed. I looked at him. He had dark circles under his eyes, days of stubble. He looked tired, very tired. "How are you?" I asked him. "Fine," he said. He kept looking at his phone. "And the boys?" "They're around," he said. "Matt is sleeping. It's 11 in the morning. It's Sunday, Dad. Let him rest." Rest from what? From being in his room all day? He finally looked up. He looked at me. There was something in his eyes. Something I didn't like. Tiredness, resignation, defeat. "Don't start, Dad," he told me. "I'm not starting anything. I'm just asking. I know where you're going with this, and I don't want to talk about it. Son, that boy doesn't study. He doesn't work. He doesn't do anything. And you? What about me, Dad? What about me? He interrupted me. His voice rose. You think I don't know? You think I'm an idiot? I didn't say that. But you think it. You come here every Sunday. You judge me. You judge my house. You judge my sons. You judge everything. I'm not judging you. I'm worried. Well, don't worry. It's not your problem. I stayed quiet. I took a deep breath. I counted to 10, like my Eleanor taught me. When you get angry, she used to say, count to 10 and then speak. And Ethan? I asked. Where is Ethan? Is he out? Where? I don't know. With his friends. And what time is he coming back? I don't know, Dad. It's his life. He's 15, Jack. 15 years old. It is not his life. You're the one who should know where he is. Just leave me alone, he said. He got out of bed. He left the room. I stayed sitting there, alone, in that messy room, and I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. I felt rage. Real rage. Because I worked my whole life. I broke my back. I sweated under the sun. My hands bled. Everything to give my children what I didn't have. And now my son was throwing it all away. And my grandsons? My grandsons were lost. I left the room. I went down the stairs. Jack was in the living room, watching television, as if nothing had happened. I stood in front of him. I turned off the TV. Hey, he protested. Listen to me closely, Jack, I said to him. My voice came out firm, strong. I'm going to tell you something, and I'm only going to say it once. He looked at me. There was surprise on his face, because I never speak to him like that. I was always patient. I was always understanding. But that day something in me changed. You have 2 months, I told him. 60 days. To put order in this house, to get those boys in line, to be the father they need. Or what? He said to me. And he smiled. He smiled mockingly, contemptuously. Or, what are you going to do, Dad? I'll take them. The smile disappeared from his face. What did you say? You heard me. I'll take Matt and Ethan. They'll come live with me. And there they will learn what discipline is, what work is, what respect is. He went silent. He stared at me. Then he let out a laugh, a bitter laugh. You're crazy, he told me. Maybe, but I'm serious. You can't do that. They're my sons. Then act like their father. He got up from the sofa. He walked toward me. He looked me in the eyes. And that's when he said it, when he said those words that still hurt me. You're too old, Dad. Stay out of what doesn't concern you. He turned his back on me. He went up the stairs. And he left me there, alone, in that dark living room. I grabbed my things. I walked out of that house. And as I walked toward my truck, as I felt the midday sun on my face, I made a promise to myself. A promise I was going to keep, no matter what. 60 days. That's what I gave him. 60 days to change. And today? Today is day 60. The first few days after that Sunday, I didn't go back to Jack's house. I didn't call. I didn't text. Nothing. And he didn't contact me either. It was as if both of us were waiting to see who would give in first, who would back down. But me? I wasn't going to back down. Not this time. I got up early that week, as always, at 5 in the morning. Even though I don't work anymore, my body doesn't forget. 50 years of getting up at that hour, that doesn't just go away. I made coffee. I sat on my back patio, and I started to think seriously. Because it's one thing to say the words. It's another thing to keep the promise. Was I really going to take my grandsons? Did I really have the strength for that? I'm not young anymore. I don't have the energy I used to. My knees hurt. My back hurts. Sometimes it's hard for me just to open a jar. But then I thought about Matt, about Ethan, about their wasted lives, about their bleak future. And that hurt more than any physical pain. So I made a decision. If I was really going to do this, I had to prepare. I had to be ready. The first thing I did was go to the guest room, the room where my Eleanor slept when she was sick. Since she died, that room has been closed. I don't go in there. I can't. But that day, I had to go in. I opened the door slowly. It smelled stuffy, dusty, full of memories. The bed was still there, the nightstand, the dresser, everything the same, as if she might come back at any moment. I sat on the bed. I ran my hand over the sheets. And for a moment I felt that she was there, that she was watching me, that she was telling me something. What do I do, honey? I asked the air. Am I doing the right thing? Obviously, there was no answer, but in my heart, I felt yes. That she would agree, because my Eleanor was always firm with the children. She always demanded things of them. She always set limits. There is a vital lesson here about self-respect and family boundaries. Even when you love someone dearly, you must maintain a clear boundary about what you can and cannot do for them, especially emotionally or financially. Respecting yourself sets the foundation for others to respect you. Preventing resentment and maintaining healthy relationships built on mutual expectation, not weakness. You have to do it, I told myself. For them, for Eleanor, for you. I got up. I opened the windows. I let the air in, the light. I took off the sheets. I washed them. I cleaned the room. I swept. I mopped. I gave life back to that space. And then I went to my closet. I took out old clothes I didn't wear anymore. I washed them. I ironed them. Because if my grandsons were coming, they needed clean clothes. They needed order. I also went to the grocery store. I bought food, beans, rice, tortillas, meat, vegetables. I filled my refrigerator. I filled my pantry. Because one thing is certain, my grandsons wouldn't lack food. But that food they were going to have to earn. A week passed, then 2, then 3, and nothing. Not a word from Jack, not a call, nothing. Was he testing me? Did he think I would forget? That I would give up? Well, he was very wrong. One Friday afternoon, exactly 4 weeks after that Sunday, my phone rang. It wasn't Jack, it was my daughter, Carol, the youngest of my 3 children. "Dad," she said to me. Her voice sounded worried. "Is what Jack told me true?" "What did he tell you? That you told him you were going to take the boys? That you gave him 2 months?" "It's true." There was silence. Then she sighed. "Dad, are you sure about what you're doing?" "Very sure. But they're his sons. You can't just take them." "Of course I can. If he won't take care of them, I will." "Dad, you have to understand. Jack is going through a rough time. He's depressed. He needs support, not pressure. And what about Matt and Ethan? Don't they need anything? Don't they matter? Of course they matter, but there are no buts, honey. Those boys are lost. And someone has to do something. If Jack won't do it, I will." Carol sighed again. "Okay, Dad. But be careful. Don't hurt them more than they're already hurting. I'm not going to hurt them. I'm going to save them. I hung up the phone, and I realized something. Jack had talked to his sister. He had told her. He probably thought she would convince me not to do it, that she would make me change my mind. But no, no one was going to make me change my mind. More days passed. I kept preparing, mentally, physically, spiritually. I started making a list of rules, because if my grandsons were going to live with me, they were going to live by my rules. Rule number 1, get up early, at 6 in the morning, every day. Rule number 2, make your bed, clean your room, order and discipline. Rule number 3, eat breakfast together, as a family. Rule number 4, work, find a job, or study, but do something productive. Rule number 5, no video games until dawn. No staying out late on the street. Rule number 6, respect, always, to me, to themselves, to others. And rule number 7, the most important. In this house, we talk, we say things. We don't bottle anything up. I wrote those rules on a piece of paper. I taped them to my refrigerator. I read them every day. I memorized them because I had to be firm. I had to be constant. I also started exercising, walks in the morning, stretching, because I was going to need energy. I was going to need strength, not physical, but mental. And every night before sleeping, I counted the days. Day 30, day 35, day 40. And I wondered, is Jack really going to change? Is he really going to wake up? Day 45, day 50. Nothing, not a call, not a text, not an attempt. And then came day 59, one day before the ultimatum. I was eating dinner, alone, as always. When the doorbell rang, I got up. I went to the door. I opened it. It was Matt, my grandson, the oldest. He was standing there, alone, with a backpack on his shoulder, his eyes red, as if he had been crying. "Grandpa," he said to me. His voice trembled. "Can I stay here tonight?" I stood there, looking at my grandson, with his backpack, with his red eyes, with his face of defeat. I didn't say anything. I just stepped aside, and he came in. I closed the door. I followed him to the living room. He sat on the sofa. He dropped the backpack on the floor, and he stayed there, quiet, staring at the floor. "Did you eat dinner?" I asked him. He shook his head. "I'm going to warm something up for you." I went to the kitchen. I took out a plate. I served him beans, rice, a little leftover chicken. I heated everything in the microwave. I prepared tortillas. I put them on the table. "Come," I told him. He got up slowly. He walked to the kitchen. He sat down. I sat across from him. He started to eat, slowly, without enthusiasm, as if he were forcing himself to swallow every bite. I didn't say anything. I just watched him. He was thinner, paler. He had dark circles. His hair was long and messy. His clothes were dirty. He smelled bad, like he hadn't showered in days. And something in me broke, because that wasn't my grandson. That wasn't the Matt I knew. The boy who ran in my yard. The one who helped me water the plants. The one who asked me to tell him stories from when I was young. What had happened to him? How had he come to this? "What happened, son?" I finally asked him. He didn't answer me. He kept eating. "Matt?" I insisted. "Talk to me." He put down the fork. He lowered his head, and he started to cry. It wasn't a loud cry. It was a silent cry. One of those that hurt more because they come from deep inside. I got up. I walked over to him. I put my hand on his shoulder. "It's okay," I told him. You're home." "I don't have a home, Grandpa," he said between sobs. "I don't have anything." "What are you talking about?" "Everything is wrong. Everything. My dad doesn't talk to me. Ethan doesn't even come home to sleep anymore. The house is a mess. I don't know what to do." "And that's why you came?" He nodded. "Does your dad know you're here?" "No, I left, and I didn't tell him anything." "He's going to be worried." Matt let out a bitter laugh, a laugh that didn't belong to a 17-year-old boy. "No, Grandpa. He won't be worried. He won't even notice I'm gone." Those words hit me like a bucket of cold water. "Sit up," I told him, "and tell me everything. From the beginning." He wiped his tears with the sleeve of his sweatshirt. He took a deep breath, and he started to talk. "After you came that Sunday, after you talked to my dad, everything got worse. He was angry, very angry. He told me you were getting into things that didn't concern you, that you were too old, that you didn't know anything." There were those words again. "You're too old." "And what did you say?" I asked. "Nothing. I never say anything. Because if I say something, if I try to talk to him, he gets angrier, or worse, he ignores me." "He ignores you?" "Yes. Like I don't exist. He comes home from work, locks himself in his room, looks at his phone, watches TV, and he doesn't talk to me. He doesn't ask me how I am. He doesn't care if I ate or not. Nothing." "And Ethan?" Matt shook his head. "Ethan is gone. I mean, he's here, but it's like he's not. He comes home late. He leaves early. He's hanging out with some friends that I don't like, Grandpa. They smoke, they drink. And he's starting to do the same." "Have you told your dad?" "Yes, I told him." "And do you know what he told me?" "That Ethan is going through a rough phase, that it will pass, that I should leave him alone." I went silent. I felt the rage rising in my chest, in my throat. "And I can't take it anymore, Grandpa," Matt continued. "The house is dirty, it smells bad, there's no food. I sometimes cook something, but I don't have the energy. I don't have the energy for anything. I get up late, I go to sleep late, and in between, I don't do anything. I just watch videos, play video games. And I feel like I'm wasting my life, but I don't know how to get out of it." He fell silent. "Me neither." "Why did you quit school?" I asked him. He shrugged. "I don't know. One day, I just didn't want to go, and then another day, and another. And when I realized it, I had already lost the whole semester. And I was embarrassed to go back. I was ashamed." "And your dad didn't say anything?" "At first, yes. He yelled at me. He told me I had to go back, but I told him I didn't want to. And he didn't insist. I guess he didn't have the strength to fight either." I took a deep breath. I closed my eyes. I counted to 10. "Matt," I told him, "do you know what I told your dad that Sunday?" "Yes, he told me. You told him he had 2 months to put things in order. Or you were going to take us. That's right? Are you serious?" "Very serious." He went silent. He stared at me. "And if he doesn't change? Are you really going to take us?" "Yes." "Me and Ethan?" "Both of you." "But how? How are you going to take care of us? You're old, Grandpa. You're too old to be raising boys." There it was again. "You're old? You're too old." "I might be old," I told him. "I might not have the strength I used to. But I'll tell you something, son. I have more will than your father. I have more discipline than your father. and I have more love for you than anyone in this world." Matt went silent. He looked down. "What if I don't want to go?" he asked softly. "Do you want to stay there, in that house, in that life?" He didn't answer. "Matt," I told him, "look at me." He looked up. "You came here tonight. I didn't force you. I didn't call you. You came on your own. Why?" Because I can't take it anymore." "Exactly, because you can't take it anymore. Because deep down, you know that's not a life. And you know that if you stay there, you'll end up worse." He went silent, thinking. "Stay here tonight," I told him. "Rest. Tomorrow we're going to talk to your dad." "Tomorrow?" "Yes, tomorrow is day 60. That night, Matt slept in the guest room. I gave him clean sheets, a pillow. I told him to shower, to put on clean clothes. He obeyed without saying anything. I lay down in my room, but I couldn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling, thinking, turning everything over in my head. Tomorrow was day 60. The ultimatum was up. And now Matt was here, in my house. Did that mean something? Was it a sign? I got up at 5 in the morning, as always. I made coffee. I sat on the patio. The air was cool, the sky still dark. And there, in that silence, I made a decision. Today, I was going to go to Jack's house. Today, I was going to keep my word. At 7 in the morning, I went into Matt's room. He was sleeping, deeply asleep, as if he hadn't rested well in days. "Matt," I said softly, "wake up." He opened his eyes slowly. He looked at me confused, as if he didn't remember where he was. "Get dressed," I told him. "We're going to have breakfast, and then we're going to your house." "Now?" "Now." He got up. He got dressed. He came down to the kitchen. I served him eggs, beans, tortillas, coffee. We ate in silence. Both of us knew what was coming, and neither of us wanted to talk about it yet. We finished breakfast. I washed the dishes. I changed clothes. I put on a clean shirt, dress pants, my good shoes, because this was important. This was serious. "Ready?" I asked Matt. He nodded. We got into my truck, an old truck, a 98, but it runs well. I've taken care of it all these years. It started on the first try. The drive to Jack's house was short, but it felt eternal. Matt was quiet, looking out the window. I drove slowly, thinking about what I was going to say, how I was going to say it. We arrived. It was 8:30 in the morning, a Saturday. The street was quiet. I parked in front of the house. I turned off the engine. "Should we go in?" Matt asked. "Yes, but let me do the talking." We got out. We walked to the door. I rang the doorbell. Once, twice. We waited. Nothing. I knocked harder. I insisted. Finally, we heard steps. The door opened. It was Jack in sweats, messy hair, looking like he had just woken up. He looked at us. First at me, then at Matt. And his expression changed. "Where were you?" he asked Matt. There was no worry in his voice. There was annoyance. "With me," I answered before Matt could speak. "He stayed at my house. And couldn't you call me?" "You didn't ask either." Jack clenched his jaw. He looked at me with those eyes I already knew. Those eyes that said, "Stay out of it." "What do you want?" he asked me. "To talk." "Will you let us in?" He hesitated. Then he stepped aside. We went in. The house was the same. Or worse. More mess, more dirt, more neglect. It smelled bad, of stale food, of stuffiness. We sat in the living room. Jack remained standing, his arms crossed as if putting up a barrier. Today is day 60, I said directly, without beating around the bush. I know what day it is. I gave you 2 months, 60 days, to put things in order. Did you do it? He didn't answer. He just looked at me. Jack, I insisted. I asked you a question. And what do you think? He said sarcastically. Do you think I put things in order? Do you think everything is perfect now? I see it's not. Well, there's your answer. Then you know what happens next. He laughed. A dry laugh. Bitter. Are you really going to do this? Are you really going to take them? Yes. You're crazy, old man. You're crazy if you think I'm going to let you take my sons. I'm not asking for your permission. They're my sons, mine, not yours. Then act like their father. Enough, he yelled. His voice echoed in the room. Enough with your sermons. Enough with your judgments. Who do you think you are? I stood up slowly. I stared at him, and I spoke calmly, firmly. I am your father. The man who gave you everything. The one who worked so that you could have a better life. The one who taught you values, discipline, respect. But I am also the grandfather of these boys, and I'm not going to stand by and watch you destroy them. Destroy them? I'm destroying them? Yes. With your negligence, with your weakness, with your cowardice. Jack took a step toward me. He was shaking, with rage, with helplessness. Cowardice? Are you calling me a coward? Yes, you are a coward. Because it's easier to give up. It's easier to let things slide. It's easier to do nothing. But being a father takes courage. And you don't have it anymore. He looked at me as if I had hit him, as if my words had hurt him more than any physical blow. You don't understand, he said in a broken voice. You don't know what it's like to lose your wife, to be left alone with 2 children. You don't know what it's like. That I don't know? I interrupted him. I lost my wife too, Jack. I was left alone too. But you know what? I kept going. Because I didn't have a choice. Because life doesn't stop. Because my children needed me. It's not the same. You're right. It's not the same. Because I didn't have the luxury of giving up. I didn't have the luxury of feeling sorry for myself. I had to work. I had to provide for my family. And I did it. Jack collapsed onto the sofa. He put his face in his hands. I can't do this anymore, he said. I can't do this anymore. Then let me help you. I don't want your help. I'm not talking about helping you. I'm talking about helping your sons. He raised his face. He looked at me. There were tears in his eyes. And if you don't let me take them, then I'll have to fight for them. Legally, morally, however necessary. You can't do that. I can, and I will. Matt, who had been silent all this time, finally spoke. Dad, he said softly, I want to go with Grandpa. Jack looked at him, as if he couldn't believe what he had just heard. What? I want to go with him. I can't take it here anymore. The silence that followed those words was crushing. Jack looked at Matt as if he didn't know him, as if his own son had become a stranger. And Matt held his gaze. For the first time in a long time, I saw determination in his eyes. What did you say? Just a whisper. I want to go with Grandpa. Matt repeated, firmer this time. I don't want to be here anymore. Why? Because there's nothing here, just mess, just neglect. You don't talk to me, you don't see me. It's like I don't exist. That's not true. Yes, it is. And you know it. Jack got up from the sofa, walked toward Matt. He knelt in front of him. He put his hands on his shoulders. Son, he said, I know things have been difficult. I know, but you'll see, everything is going to get better. We just need time, both of us. You and me. There's no more time, Dad. It's been 2 years. 2 years since Mom left. And things aren't getting better. They're only getting worse. But we can fix it. Together. You don't need to leave. Yes, I do. Jack let go of him. He stood up. He looked at me, and in his gaze I saw something I hadn't seen before. I saw fear. Real fear. This is your fault, he told me. You put these ideas in his head. You convinced him. I didn't convince him of anything, I replied calmly. He came to my house on his own last night. I didn't look for him. He looked for me. Because you didn't give him the attention he needed. I didn't threaten anyone. I set limits. Something you should have done a long time ago. Jack shook his head. He walked in circles around the living room. He ran his hands through his hair. He was desperate. You can't do this, he said. You can't just leave. Of course we can, I said. Matt is already 17 years old. He can decide where he wants to live. But he's a minor. I'm his father. I have custody. Custody can be changed, especially when there's negligence. Negligence? Are you accusing me of negligence? Look around you, Jack. Look at this house. Look at your son. Does this look like taking care of him? He went silent. He looked at the living room, the mess, the trash. And for the first time, I saw something on his face. I saw shame. I work, he said weakly. I pay the bills. I give them a roof, food. That's not enough. Children need more than a roof and food. They need guidance, discipline, love. I love them. Then show it. Fight for them. But fight for real. Not with words, with actions. Jack collapsed back onto the sofa. He put his elbows on his knees, his face in his hands, and he started to cry, like a child, like a broken man. And at that moment I felt something. It wasn't pity. It wasn't compassion. It was something deeper. It was pain. Pain to see my son like this. Destroyed, lost. But I couldn't give in. Not this time. Because this wasn't about him. It was about Matt, about Ethan. About 2 boys who needed to be saved. Where is Ethan? I asked. Jack didn't look up. He just shook his head. I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? He didn't come home last night. Sometimes he doesn't come home. He stays with friends. Friends? What kind of friends? I don't know. I don't know them. And you're not worried? Of course I'm worried. But I don't know what to do anymore. He won't listen to me anymore. If I say something, he gets angry. If I complain, he leaves. It's like a battle I've already lost. You haven't lost anything, I told him. But you're about to lose everything if you don't wake up. Matt got up from the sofa where he was sitting. He walked toward the door. Where are you going? Jack asked him. To pack my things. Wait, please. But Matt didn't wait. He went up the stairs. We heard him walking on the 2nd floor, opening drawers, moving things. Jack looked at me. There was pleading in his eyes. Don't take him, he told me. Please, he's my son. Then be his father. I don't know how. I don't know how to do it anymore. Yes, you do. I taught you. Your mother taught you. You just have to remember. It's too late. It's never too late. But you have to decide now. Are you going to keep going like this? Are you going to let your son sink? Or are you going to stand up and fight? He didn't answer. He just stayed there, sitting, crying. Matt came down the stairs. He was carrying a backpack, the same one he had arrived with last night. Now it was fuller. "I'm ready," he told me. "Is that all?" "It's what I need." I looked at Jack. I waited. I waited for him to say something, to do something, to react. But he didn't say anything. He just looked at us. With those empty eyes. With that expression of defeat. "Let's go," I told Matt. We walked toward the door. I opened it. We left. The morning sun hit my face. I took a deep breath. Matt walked toward the truck. He opened the door. He got in. I stood there, in the doorway, looking inside one last time. Jack was still on the sofa. He hadn't moved. "You still have time," I told him. "For Ethan. Don't lose him too." I closed the door. I walked to the truck. I got in. I started the engine. And as we drove away, as I saw that house in the rearview mirror, I felt something strange. It wasn't victory. It wasn't satisfaction. It was sadness. Deep sadness. Because I had won a grandson. But I had lost my son. And I didn't know. I didn't know if we could ever fix that. Matt was quiet, looking out the window, not saying anything. "Are you okay?" I asked him. "I don't know," he replied. "I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. It's okay. There's no right way to feel." "Do you think I did the right thing?" "Yes. You did the right thing for you." "And my dad?" "Your dad? Your dad has to find his own way. We can't carry him. We can't save him. Only he can do that." We arrived at my house. We got out. Matt went inside with his backpack. I took him to the guest room. "This is your room now," I told him. "You'll sleep here. You'll live here, as long as you're under my roof." "Thank you, Grandpa." "Don't thank me yet, because starting tomorrow, everything is going to change." He looked at me curiously. "What's going to change?" "Everything. Your life, your habits, your routine. You're not going to be the same Matt anymore. You're going to be someone new, someone better." That night I cooked dinner for the two of us. Steak, beans, rice, homemade tortillas. We ate in silence. Matt ate slowly, as if every bite was an effort. "How is it?" I asked him. "Good," he said. "I haven't eaten like this in a long time." "How long is a long time?" He shrugged. "I don't know. Months. My dad doesn't cook anymore. Sometimes he orders takeout. Or I make myself something quick, but it's not the same." "Well, get used to it. Because we eat well here. But we also work." He looked at me without understanding. "You start tomorrow," I told him. "At 6 in the morning. You get up, you shower. We have breakfast. And then you start building your new life." "Building?" "Yes. Because that's what we're going to do. We're going to build. Like I built houses all my life. You're going to build your future. Brick by brick. Step by step." He didn't say anything. But I saw something in his eyes. Fear, uncertainty. But I also saw something else. I saw hope. That night I went to bed early. But before that I took out an old notebook. A notebook where my Eleanor used to write things. Recipes, lists, thoughts. I opened it to a random page, and I read her handwriting. That beautiful handwriting I liked so much. Children don't need perfect parents. They need present parents. Parents who don't give up. Parents who teach them that life is hard, but it's worth living. I closed the notebook. I pressed it against my chest and I spoke to her, like I always do. "Help me, honey," I told her. "Give me strength, because this is going to be hard, very hard." I fell asleep thinking about that. At 5:30 in the morning, I got up. I showered, I got dressed, I made coffee, and at 6 o'clock sharp, I knocked on Matt's door. "Up," I told him. "It's time." I heard a groan, then nothing. I knocked harder. "Matt, up, now." "5 more minutes, Grandpa." "No, now. If you're not downstairs in 5 minutes, I'm coming up and dragging you out of bed myself." I waited. I counted to 100. And just as I was about to go up, I heard steps. The door opened. Matt came out. With messy hair, swollen eyes, the face of someone who hasn't slept well. "Good morning," I told him. He mumbled something I didn't understand. "Shower. I'll wait for you downstairs." "Shower? Now?" "Yes, every day, in the morning. That's how you start the day. Clean, fresh." He grumbled, but he obeyed. 20 minutes later, he came down, with wet hair, clean clothes. "Sit down," I told him. I served him breakfast: eggs, beans, toast, orange juice. We ate together. No television, no phones. Just the two of us, eating in silence. "Do you always eat breakfast like this?" he asked. "Always, since I can remember. My father taught me. Breakfast is sacred. It's the start of the day. If you start well, the rest goes well." We finished. He got up to go to his room. "Where are you going?" I asked him. I don't know, to my room. No, the dishes get washed." "Me? You, but..." "No buts. In this house, everyone works. I cooked, you wash." I saw him hesitate, but he finally went to the sink. He started washing the dishes, clumsy, slow, like someone who had never done it before. "Use soap," I told him, "and scrub well. Make sure they're not greasy." He finished after 10 minutes. The dishes were half clean, but it was a start. "Done," he said. "Good? Now let's go." "Where?" "To work." I took him to the patio. I have a big yard, with plants, with a small vegetable garden, with tools, with space to do many things. "Do you see that pile of bricks?" I said, pointing to a corner. "I need you to move them from there to over there." I pointed to the other end of the yard. "What for?" "Because I said so. And because you need to learn to work, to use your body, to get truly tired." "But Grandpa..." "No buts. Start. When you finish, I'll tell you what's next." He stood there, looking at the pile of bricks. There must have been about 100 bricks. Heavy. "I can't," he said. "Why not?" Because there are so many. And they're heavy." "Exactly. That's why it's perfect. You're going to learn. Start with one, then another, then another. Keep going until you finish." "But, Matt..." I interrupted him, my voice firm, serious. "You came here because you wanted to change, because you wanted to be different. But change isn't easy. Change hurts. Change is tiring. And if you're not willing to do this, if you're not willing to put in the effort, then you might as well go back to your dad's." I watched him think. I saw the internal battle in his eyes. Finally, he sighed. He walked toward the bricks. He picked one up. He carried it. He walked to the other end. He put it down. He went back for another. I sat in a chair. I watched him. I didn't say anything. I just watched him work. At first he went fast, with energy. But after 10 bricks, he started to get tired. His breathing became heavier. He was sweating. His arms were shaking. After 20 bricks, he stopped. "I can't do this anymore," he said. "Yes, you can," No, everything hurts. The pain is part of the process. Keep going. But Grandpa, keep going. He gritted his teeth and kept going. Brick by brick, step by step. It took 2 hours, 2 complete hours. But he finished. He moved all 100 bricks from one side to the other. When he finished, he dropped to the ground, sweaty, exhausted, breathing hard. I walked over to him. I handed him a bottle of water. Drink the whole thing. He drank desperately, as if it were the best thing he had ever tasted. Why did you make me do that? He asked between breaths. What for? Just to tire me out? No, I told him. To teach you something. What? That you can. That when you think you can't go on, you still can. Your body is stronger than you think. Your mind is stronger than you think. But you have to prove it to yourself. He went silent, thinking. Now, I told him, shower, rest for an hour, and then we continue. We continue? There's still more? Yes. Every day there's more. This is just the beginning. 2 weeks passed. 2 weeks where the routine was the same every day. 6 in the morning, wake up, shower, eat breakfast together, wash the dishes, and then work. Some days he had to sweep the whole yard. Other days clean the roof gutters. Other days help me fix a fence that was falling down. There was always something to do. Always. And Matt? Matt complained. Of course he complained. The first few days he protested all the time, that he was tired, that his body hurt. What was the point of doing all this? But I didn't give in. Not an inch. If you want to stay here, I told him, these are the rules. If you don't like it, you leave. And he stayed. Because deep down, he knew this was better than what he had left behind. Little by little, I started seeing changes, small ones, but changes finally. He got up faster. He no longer needed me to call him 3 times. He did things without me reminding him. And something more important? He started to talk. One afternoon, we were sitting on the patio, drinking iced tea, resting after painting the fence. Grandpa, he said suddenly, can I ask you something? Sure. Why do you do this? Do what? All this, getting up early, working, keeping everything clean, organized. What for? If you live alone. I was quiet for a moment, thinking about how to answer. Because discipline is not for others, I told him. It's for you. It's so you don't get lost. It's so you don't forget who you are. I don't understand. When you lose discipline, when you let everything go to chaos, you also become chaos. Inside, your mind, your heart, everything gets disordered. Matt fell silent, processing. Is that why my dad is like that? He asked softly. It could be. Your dad lost his way, he lost his discipline, and he lost himself. Do you think he can still fix it? Yes, but he has to want to do it. And so far, he hasn't wanted to. Matt looked down. I saw sadness on his face. Do you miss your dad? I asked him. He nodded. Every day. It's okay to miss him. He's your father. But it's also okay to have made this decision. Both things can be true at the same time. And Ethan? Do you think he? He didn't finish the sentence, but I knew what he wanted to ask. I don't know, son. Ethan has to make his own decisions, just like you made yours. I'm scared for him, Grandpa. He's hanging out with bad people, really bad. And my dad doesn't do anything. I know, I'm scared too. But I can't force Ethan to come. He has to want to do it. And what if he doesn't want to? What if it's already too late for him? It's never too late. As long as there's life, there's opportunity. The days kept passing, and with each passing day, Matt changed more. His body looked different, stronger, healthier. He was no longer pale. The work under the sun had given him color. His arms had more muscle. His back was straighter. But more importantly, his gaze had changed. It was no longer that empty, lost look. Now, there was something there. Something that wasn't there before. Determination. One afternoon, after 3 weeks, the test arrived. We were on the patio when my phone rang. It was a number I didn't have saved. "Hello?" I answered. "Dad?" "It's Jack," he said. His voice sounded strange, scared. "Ethan is in the hospital." My blood ran cold. "What? What happened to him?" He had an accident. Well, it wasn't an accident. It was a fight. With a gang. They beat him up. He's bad, Dad. He's really bad." Matt was looking at me. He knew something was wrong. "Which hospital?" I asked. "The city hospital, emergency room. Are you coming?" I hung up. I looked at Matt. "It's your brother," I told him. "He's in the hospital." His face went pale. "What happened to him?" "He was beaten. Let's go." We didn't waste time. We got in the truck. I drove fast, faster than normal. My heart was pounding. My hands were shaking on the steering wheel. "He's going to be okay," I told myself. "He has to be okay." We arrived at the hospital. We ran to the emergency room. I found Jack in the waiting room. He looked terrible. Worse than ever. Red eyes, grown beard, wrinkled clothes. When he saw me, he stood up. "Dad?" he said. And he hugged me. He cried on my shoulder, like when he was a child, like when he was scared. "It's okay," I told him. "Where is he?" "Inside. The doctors are with him. They won't let me in." "What happened?" He pulled away from me. He wiped his tears. "He was with some guys, on a corner. I don't know what they were doing. Another gang arrived. There was a fight. They hit him with a pipe, on the head. On the ribs, they left him lying there. Someone called the ambulance." Matt listened to everything. His face was a mixture of horror and guilt. "I knew it," he said. "I knew this was going to happen. I told him. I told him to leave those guys. But he wouldn't listen to me." "It's not your fault," I told him. "Yes, it is. I left him alone." "No, you saved yourself. That's not selfishness. It's survival." A doctor came out, a young woman, with a tired face. "Family of Ethan Johnson?" she asked. The 3 of us approached her. "I'm his father," Jack said. "Your son is stable," the doctor said. "But he is serious. He has a cranial trauma, 3 broken ribs, internal injuries. He's going to need surgery." "Is he? Is he going to be okay?" Jack asked in a broken voice. "It's too soon to tell. The next few days are critical." Jack collapsed into a chair. He put his face in his hands, and he cried. He cried harder than I had ever seen him cry. I sat next to him. I put my hand on his back. "This is my fault," he said between sobs. "Everything is my fault. I let him go. I didn't watch him. Jack," I interrupted him. "Listen to me closely." He looked up. His eyes were red, swollen. "You're right," I told him. "It is your fault. You failed as a father. You let your sons get lost. And now one is here, in a hospital, fighting for his life." I expected him to get angry, to yell at me, but he didn't. He just nodded. "I know," he said. "I know. But," I continued, "you can still fix it. You still have time. If Ethan gets out of this, if he survives, you have a second chance. Don't waste it. He looked at me, and for the first time in a long time, I saw my real son. I saw the man he could be, the father he should be. "Help me, Dad," he told me. "Please help me fix this." We spent that night in the hospital, the three of us, Jack, Matt, and me, in that cold waiting room smelling of disinfectant, with the constant sound of ambulances arriving. No one slept. No one talked much either. We just waited. We waited for news. We waited for Ethan to come out of surgery. We waited for a miracle. At 4 a.m, the surgeon came out, an older man with gray hair with a serious face. "The surgery went well," he said. "We were able to control the internal bleeding, but the blow to the head is serious. He has brain swelling. We put him in an induced coma so the brain can rest, so it can recover." "When will he wake up?" "It could be days, it could be weeks. It depends on how he responds." "And if he doesn't respond?" The doctor fell silent. That was answer enough. Jack crumbled. Literally. He fell to his knees on the floor. Matt ran to him. He hugged him. And the two of them cried there, in the middle of that waiting room. I stood there, watching my son, my grandson, destroyed. And I felt enormous rage. A rage that burned inside me. Rage against Jack for having allowed this, for having been so weak. Rage against myself for not having acted sooner, for having waited so long, and rage against the world, against life, against the injustice of it all. "You can go in and see him," the doctor said. "But only one at a time, and only for a few minutes." Jack went in first. He was in there for about 10 minutes. When he came out, he looked worse, paler, more broken. "I didn't recognize him," he said. "His face is all swollen, purple with tubes everywhere. He doesn't look like my son." Then Matt went in. He came out crying, unable to speak, just shaking his head. "Do you want to go in?" Jack asked me. "Yes." I went into that room, and what I saw broke my heart. Ethan was in a bed, connected to machines, with a tube in his mouth, bandages on his head, bruises all over his face, so still, so fragile, so small. My grandson, my blood. There, fighting for his life. I walked closer. I took his hand. It was cold, but I could feel his pulse. Weak, but it was there. "Forgive me, son," I told him. "Forgive me for not watching over you, for not getting here in time. But if you give me a chance, if you wake up, I promise you everything is going to be different. I promise you." I came out of there with teary eyes, with a tight heart. The following days were torture. We went to the hospital every day. We took turns being with Ethan, talking to him. Because the doctors said he could hear us, that we had to talk to him, so he would know he wasn't alone. And in those days, something happened that I didn't expect. Jack changed. It wasn't an overnight change. It was gradual, but real. He started shaving, showering, changing clothes. He stopped looking like a living dead man. One afternoon, after being at the hospital, he told me, "Dad, can I stay at your house tonight?" "Why?" "Because I don't want to be alone." "And why?" "Because I need to talk to you." "It's okay." That night, the three of us ate dinner. I cooked. Matt helped. Jack stayed quiet, thinking. After dinner, Matt went to his room, and Jack and I stayed in the living room, each with a cup of coffee. "I don't know where to start," he said. "Start at the beginning." He sighed. He ran his hands over his face. When my wife left, when she left me, something in me broke. It wasn't just that she left me, it's that she left the children. How does a mother do that? How does she leave her children? I don't know, son. And I felt so guilty, so much like a failure, as if I had been so bad that she preferred to leave. And that guilt started eating me up inside. I know. And I became permissive, weak. Because I thought that if I was strict, if I demanded things of them, they would also leave. They would abandon me, like their mom. But that doesn't work that way. I know that now. But back then I couldn't see it. I didn't want to see it. He was quiet for a moment. He drank his coffee. When you told me you were going to take the boys, I got so angry. I hated you. I thought you were interfering, that you had no right. I know you made that clear. But then Matt left with you, and I was left alone in that house. And for the first time I saw myself, truly. And I didn't like what I saw. What did you see? A coward? A man who gave up? A father who failed? At least you recognize it. Yes, I recognize it. And I ask for your forgiveness. Forgive me for not listening to you. Forgive me for being so stubborn. Forgive me for putting my sons in danger. Don't tell me. Tell them. I will. If Ethan wakes up, I will. It's not if, it's when he wakes up. He nodded. Dad, he told me, do you think I can still be a good father? Yes, but it's going to take work, discipline, consistency. It's not going to be easy. I know. But I'm willing. For the first time in a long time, I'm willing. Then you have to prove it. With actions, not with words. Will you help me? Of course. That's what I'm here for. That's what family is for. 6 days passed. 6 days where Ethan remained in a coma. 6 days of uncertainty, of fear, of prayers. And then, on the 7th day, it happened. We were at the hospital, the 3 of us, when a nurse ran out. He woke up, she shouted. Ethan woke up. We ran. We went into the room, and there he was, with his eyes open, confused, scared, but awake, alive. Ethan, Jack said. He walked closer to the bed. He grabbed his hand. Son, you're here. Are you okay? Ethan looked at him. He tried to speak, but he couldn't. He still had the tube in his throat. Don't talk, the doctor told him. You'll be able to talk later. For now, just rest. But Ethan wasn't resting. He looked at us, all 3 of us, and there was something in his eyes, something that broke my heart. There was fear, confusion, but there was also something else. There was regret. This situation underscores the absolute importance of self-preservation and speaking the truth. If you see someone you care about making a mistake, or if you yourself are in trouble, you must summon the courage to be honest. The truth, even when difficult, is the only foundation for true help and eventual healing. Don't hide the facts, and never feel ashamed to ask for help or admit a wrong, because lives depend on it. Ethan was in the hospital for 2 more weeks. 2 weeks where he slowly recovered. They removed the tube. He started talking, eating, moving. But he wasn't the same. He was no longer that rebellious, defiant boy, the one who came home late, the one who didn't obey. Now, he was different, quieter, more scared, as if he had seen something that changed everything for him. And I guess that's what happened. Because when you're about to die, when you feel your life slipping away, that marks you forever. One afternoon, after the doctors discharged him, we took him home, but not to his house, to mine. "Am I going to stay here?" he asked when we went in. "Yes," I told him. "Here, with your brother and me, and my dad? Your dad will come every day. But for now, you're going to stay here." He looked around. He saw Matt standing in the doorway of his room. The two brothers looked at each other, and something happened between them. Something that didn't need words. Matt walked toward him, and he hugged him hard, harder than I had ever seen him hug. "I thought I lost you," Matt told him. "I thought you were going to die." "I thought so too," Ethan replied in a broken voice. They stayed like that for a while, hugging, crying. And me? I let them be, because that's what they needed. That night, the four of us ate dinner. Jack had stayed too. We ate in silence. No one talked much. The weight of everything that had happened was still there. Fresh, painful. After dinner, Jack stood up. "Ethan," he said, "can we talk?" Ethan looked at him. There was fear in his eyes. "About what?" "About everything. About what happened. About what's next." They went to the living room. Matt and I stayed in the kitchen, washing the dishes. But we could hear the conversation. "Son," Jack began, I need to ask for your forgiveness." There was a silence. "I failed as a father. I left you alone. I didn't watch you. I didn't set limits. And because of that, I almost lost you." "It wasn't your fault, Dad," Ethan said. "Yes, it was. I knew who you were hanging out with. I knew what time you were coming home. I knew something bad was going to happen. But I didn't do anything. I was paralyzed. And that almost cost you your life. I'm also to blame. I chose to hang out with them. I chose to do what I did. But you were a child. A child needs guidance. He needs a father to stop him when he's going down the wrong path. And I didn't do it." I heard Ethan cry. "Forgive me, Dad," he said between sobs. "Forgive me for everything. For not listening to you. For worrying you. For—" "No, son. I ask for your forgiveness. And I promise you something. I promise you that from now on, everything is going to be different. I'm going to be the father you need. The father you deserve." "How?" "I don't know yet. But your grandfather is going to help me. Your brothers are going to help me. And together we're going to get through this." Matt looked at me. There was hope in his eyes. Hope that maybe their family could heal. The following days were different. Very different. Ethan started the same routine as Matt, getting up early, showering, having breakfast, working. At first it was hard for him. His body was still weak. His ribs still hurt. He still had headaches. But he didn't complain. He did what he could. And when he couldn't do any more, he rested. And then he continued. And Jack? Jack started coming every day, early, before going to work. He ate breakfast with us. He helped with the chores around the house. He stayed for dinner. And then he went home. One night, after a month, I asked him, "How are things at your house?" "Better," he said. "I cleaned everything. I threw out the trash. I fixed what was broken. It's becoming a home again. I'm glad. But it's still empty. Without the boys, it's very empty. Do you want them to come back?" He was quiet, thinking. "I do, but I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if they're ready." "Then wait. Give it time. When the time is right, you'll know." 2 more months passed. 2 months where I saw enormous changes. Matt was no longer that lost boy. Now he had purpose. He had re-enrolled in school. He went to classes in the afternoon. He studied at night. He was catching up on lost time. And Ethan? Ethan was a different person. He had left those friends. He no longer went out at night. He no longer came home late. He had become responsible. He helped around the house without being asked. He looked out for his brother. And little by little, he was healing. One afternoon, the four of us were sitting on the patio, drinking iced tea, resting after working in the garden. "Dad," Matt said suddenly, looking at Jack, I think I want to go home." Jack looked at him, surprised. "Seriously?" "Yes, but only if you're ready, if you're really going to change." "I already changed, son. You can ask your grandfather." "It's true," I confirmed. "Your father is no longer the same." Ethan spoke then. "I also want to go back, but with one condition." "What is it?" "That things are different. That there are rules. That there is discipline. Like here with Grandpa. Because if we go back to the way it was before, I prefer to stay here." Jack nodded. "It will be, I promise. We are going to be a real family. Like before. Like it should be. It's important to remember that kindness is an investment that always yields dividends, though not always in currency. The quiet acts of patience and good conduct, the simple things like showing up for someone or offering a listening ear, are the cornerstones of a good life. Treat people with consistent kindness and firmness, and you will build a network of support that will hold your family up during the toughest times, just as Robert did for his sons. The three of them looked at me, waiting for me to say something. "Then it's time," I said. "It's time for you to go back. But don't forget what you learned here. Don't forget that discipline is not punishment. It's love. It's care. It's the way we build a life with purpose." "We won't forget it, Grandpa," Matt said. "Never," Ethan added. "And Jack?" Jack looked at me with those eyes I knew so well. The same eyes as when he was a boy, when he needed me. "Thank you, Dad," he told me, "for not giving up on me, for saving my sons, for saving me. I didn't save you, son. You saved yourself. I just reminded you who you were." 6 months have passed since that day 60. 6 months since everything changed. Matt and Ethan went back to live with their father. But it wasn't like before. Nothing is like before. Now there are rules. There is discipline. There is order. They get up early. They eat breakfast together. Each one has responsibilities in the house. They go to school. They study. And when there are problems, they talk. They say things. They don't bottle anything up. Jack kept his promise. He became the father he should have been from the beginning. Firm, present, loving, but demanding. And I still come every Sunday. But it's not like before. I no longer arrive at a house in chaos. Now I arrive at a home, to a family. Last Sunday, as always, I went to visit them. I knocked on the door. This time they did open it. Fast. It was Matt. "Grandpa?" he told me with a smile. That smile I hadn't seen in years. "Come in. Lunch is ready." I went in. The house smelled good. Of casserole, of rolls, of home. Ethan was in the kitchen, helping his father set the table. When he saw me, he ran toward me. "Grandpa," he told me. He hugged me tight. "I missed you." "Me too, son." We sat down to eat. The four of us, as a family. We talked, we laughed. We told each other about the week. And in that moment, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. I felt peace. After eating, Jack asked me to join him on the patio. He wanted to talk alone. "What's wrong?" I asked him. "Nothing bad," he said. "I just wanted to give you something." He took out an envelope. He handed it to me. "What is this?" "Open it." I opened it. Inside there was a letter, handwritten, in Jack's handwriting. I started reading. "Dad, I'm not good with words. I never have been. But I want you to know something. Thank you. Thank you for not giving up on me. Thank you for saving my sons when I couldn't. Thank you for giving me a second chance. I know I wasn't the best son. I know I disappointed you. I said horrible things to you. I disrespected you. But you never gave up. And that saved my life. Today my sons are okay. They are alive. They are growing. And it's thanks to you. Thank you for being the man you are, the father you were, and the grandfather you continue to be. I love you. Jack." I closed the letter. I felt a lump in my throat. My eyes filled with tears. "Don't cry, Dad," Jack told me. "There's no reason to cry anymore. These are good tears, son. The good kind." He hugged me, and I hugged him back. And there, in that hug, I knew that everything had been worth it. Everything. The pain, the fight, the hard words, everything. Because in the end, I saved my family. That night, when I went back to my house, I sat on the patio with a coffee, looking at the stars. And I spoke to my Eleanor, like I always do. "We did it, honey," I told her. "We did it. The boys are okay. Jack is okay. The family is healing. I know you helped me. I know you were there, guiding me, giving me strength. Thank you, my love. Thank you." And I swear I felt something. A gentle breeze, a warmth in my chest. And I knew she was proud. Today, as I tell you this story, more than 8 months have passed since that day 60. Matt is finishing his last year of high school, getting good grades. He has plans to go to college. He wants to study engineering, like his grandfather. Well, I wasn't an engineer. I was a construction worker. But he says it's the same thing. Building, creating, raising things up. Ethan is in therapy, talking about what he went through, healing his wounds. He no longer hangs out with those friends. He found others, good guys, from good families. And he's also in school, studying, working hard. And Jack. Jack is no longer that broken man I met months ago. Now he's a father, a real father. Firm when he needs to be. Loving always. Present. Consistent. Was it easy to get here? No. None of this was easy. There were days when I wanted to give up. Days when I thought I was too old for this. That I didn't have the strength. That I wouldn't make it. But I kept going. Because when you love someone, when you truly love your family, you don't give up. No matter how hard it is, no matter how tired you are, you keep going. Because they are worth it. And if I could do it, if this 72-year-old man could do it, you can too. If you're going through something similar, if you see your family being destroyed, if you see your children lost, if you see someone you love sinking, don't stay silent. Don't give up. Fight. Set limits. Be firm, even if it hurts. Even if they hate you at the moment, do it. Because in the end, they will thank you for it. Like my grandsons thank me. Like my son thanks me. And you'll be able to sleep peacefully, knowing that you did the right thing, that you didn't give up, that you loved enough to be tough when it was necessary. That's my story. The story of an old construction worker who didn't let his family be destroyed, who gave an ultimatum, who kept his word, and who, in the end, saved what he loved most. Now I want you to tell me, what would you have done in my place? Would you have had the courage to do what I did, or would you have kept silent? And also tell me, where are you listening from? From what corner of this world did this story reach you? Share this with anyone who needs to hear it. With that father who is lost, with that grandfather who is worried, with that family that is broken. Because it's never too late. Never. As long as there is life, there is hope. As long as there is love, there is salvation. And remember, discipline is not punishment, it's love. It's the way we care for the ones we love most. Thank you for listening to me. God bless you, and may you never, ever give up on your own. This whole experience proves that the most profound act of love is often the one that demands change and accountability. When Jack's grief turned into neglect, Robert had to choose tough love over passive sadness. The core value rediscovered here is that while empathy is essential, true kindness requires the courage to enforce healthy boundaries and demand integrity from those you love. Jack, Matt, and Ethan's healing began the moment they accepted responsibility and structure. For a better life, the lesson is clear. We must stop making excuses for the chaos in our lives or the lives of our loved ones. Instead, we must embrace hard work, honest communication, and consistent discipline. The path to a happy, fulfilling life is paved not with easy compromises, but with firm, loving commitment to structure and self-respect.